Namaste yogis. I'm Carter and welcome to Friday Flow. Today's practice is about finding balance between pushing and coasting. Make sure that you find a little bit of fluidity and maybe a little bit of ease. If you're tight in your hamstrings, you may want to find a block or two to support you in some of these balancing postures. All right, let's get to our mat. All right, let's start to the front of our mat. Separate the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Roll the heels out just a little bit to open up through the lower back. And then press right foot and left foot into the ground, a little bit like you're marching, just a little bit of a wag with the tail from side to side. Bring the belly towards the thighs. Drop your arms down. Either let them dangle. If you have the blocks out in front of you, you can soften the hands to the blocks. You can also take the forearms to the knees or the thighs. And I just want you to move a little bit with the hips from side to side. Tuck the chin so you feel some of the blood rush to the brain. Relax the jaw. Take a nice big inhale and slow exhale. On your next inhalation, come up halfway. Flatten your back, straighten your knees, and lift the chin and chest. So the hands can dangle, find shins or thighs or the blocks. And then exhale, a little bend of the knees again. Fold forward, release your head, soft. Let's do it again. Inhale, halfway up, flatten and lengthen. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale. And then exhale. Keep in mind, balancing between the pushing and coasting is a moving target, so we have to keep checking in. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer together. That may increase the sensation in the hamstrings. Bend the knees enough to plant the hands. Walk your feet all the way back. Top of a push-up. Spread your fingertips nice and wide. Push through your heels so you feel it in the calves, and then tuck the tailbone so you take a little bit of the curvature out of your back. Lift the chin, lift the gaze, and keep pressing the floor away. So a little bit of power here. And then drop your knees down. Lift your feet up. Roll the ankles, wiggle the toes. And then lower your hips a little bit closer towards the ground. So you're going to pull the heart through the arms. You're going to lift the chin and chest and create a little bit of space between the shoulders and ears. If you need more, you can bend the knees more and you can drop the hips more and lift the chin more. So you're going to feel a little bit of sensation in the lower back, maybe quadriceps. Drop the feet down, open up the knees nice and wide, draw the hips back towards the heels, child's pose. We're at the beginning here, just creating a foundation of our practice, or better yet, a little intimacy with our body to find out where we are so we can balance. And balance is about everything within our lives. It's body, it's breath, it's work-life balance, it's relationship. Everything is balanced. We don't want to get too far off of center, and then we could definitely lose that connection. Nice. Come on up to table. A round or two, a cat-cow, just getting the spine fluid. Breath is moving body. Nothing too fast, nothing too deliberate either, but a lot of focus. And then ease yourself into a really gentle down dog. So spread your fingertips nice and wide. Roll over your toes. If it's your first down dog of the day, keep the knees a little bit more bent. And then invite one heel towards the ground, and then you're going to switch that. So it's kind of like you're pedaling a bicycle. Allow the head to dangle, maybe give it a little shake. Breath or two here. This is always a good time to have that internal dialogue. How am I doing today? Physically, energetically, emotionally, that's a big one. How's my heart doing? And maybe even spiritually, am I connected to the things that are important to me? Walk or step your feet to your hands. This time your feet are a little bit closer. Inhaling, coming halfway up, flattening through your back. Exhaling, folding, tucking the chin. Nice and slowly bring yourself all the way up. Arms reach up. Right hand grabs left wrist, exhale, side bend to the right. Little gaze underneath the left arm. Inhale back to center, lift the gaze. Let's try the other side. Left hand grabs right wrist, ease into it. Inhale back to center, lift the gaze. Maybe a very subtle back bend if you feel like it's there. Hands come to heart center. And then once again, a little bend in the knees, fold forward. Release your arms, tuck your chin, and soften. Inhale, halfway up, flatten and lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees. Plant your hands, right foot steps back. Let's stay on the right toes. So once again, if your hamstrings are tight, you may want to get these blocks, or maybe you have a couch or a table or something you could use. Arms reach up, crescent warrior. I wanted to remind you now, because a lot of times when I get into the pose, I'm like, oh, now's the time where you could use your block. So I'm thinking a couple steps ahead, which is rare for me. All right, so left knee is bent, doesn't pass the ankle. And we're pushing through the right heel and straightening that right knee. We're internally rotating those arms so the palms face one another, the pinkies are forward, the thumbs are back, and those shoulders are drawing down and away from the ears. And then we're just going to extend the arms out in front of us, kind of like we're giving somebody a present. And then we're going to hinge at the waist a little bit so the belly hovers over the thigh. It's going to wake up that left leg. And we're going to extend a little bit more. We're going to come onto the right toes, and we're just going to bring that right foot up off the ground. So we're in Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Drop your arms down, let them dangle. Hinge a little bit at the waist, and this is where your blocks or whatever support is going to come in handy if your hamstrings are tight. Hands to the blocks or the floor, whatever's working. Chin tucks a little bit, nose towards knee or shin. Do a little internal rotation of the right thigh so the right hip bone drops. It doesn't matter to me how much that right leg is lifting. We're just standing on the left foot. Now, as slowly as you came forward, you're going to come back up. So you're going to come up halfway. Arms open up, airplane wings. Let's interlace our fingers behind our back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bend that left knee. Now step your right foot back. Swivel it. It's kind of like Warrior 1 stance now. And then squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the heart, bend that left knee a little bit. Move the head, make sure the neck stays malleable. Straighten your left knee. And then scoot your right foot forward about 2 or 3 inches. Draw your left hip back, right hip forward. So you're trying to square the hip bones at the front of your mat. And with a long spine, hinge at the waist as if you're bringing your belly button towards your thigh. Stop when you feel like it's enough on the back of the left leg. If you're needing more sensation in the fronts of the shoulders or the chest, you can start to drift those arms a little off the lower back, but keep the space between the shoulders and ears, so nice long neck. Release your arms, let them dangle, give them a shake. All right, let's bend that left knee enough to get those hands down, block or floor, lift that back leg up off the ground. All right, so now we're taking that left hand down, maybe a little bit in front of that left shoulder, and we're going to twist and open. The right arm reaches up to the sky. So now we're in half moon. We're going to externally rotate the right thigh so the right toes swivel out to the right. We're trying to stack right hip on top of left hip. The gaze can be over that right shoulder or it can look down to the floor. Give yourself one more deep full breath. Get a little lighter on the left hand. Bend the left knee and step your right foot back, Warrior 2. So I never expect you to get right into your pose, so you can manipulate the leg a little. Swivel your palms up and down. Take your right arm underneath your left arm and either stack the elbows or right hand grabs left wrist or palm. So eagle arms if it's there, elbows are up, shoulders are down. Move the head again. Make sure the neck feels pretty good. Creating a little bit of space between the shoulder blades. Soften all 10 toes. One of the modifications I like to give you is the left knee presses out towards the left pinky toe. So you're going to feel a little bit in that left groin. Nice. Inhale, open up your arms. Swivel the palms up and down, move the shoulders a bit. And then drop the right arm down. Slide that left arm up and over. Reverse warrior as you gaze underneath that left arm. Take your right hand. Reach up, grab your left wrist. Pull and straighten that left knee. So maybe sometimes people call this reverse triangle or sky archer. I call it feeling good. Inhale, lift the torso up, hands to hips. We're moving into triangle pose, but I want to give you a couple modifications here. Right hip draws back. So the pelvis kind of does this kind of tilt. And then we're going to rotate this right hip just a little bit forward. That may push the right heel back a little. Left knee is straight, and we're just going to move the torso forward and extend the left arm out in front of you. Another reason to have a block down here. It feels really nice to be able to have this connection. So we're just going to drop that left arm down. Block or floor, wherever you can get. If you don't have a block, it's okay. You can let the arm dangle. And maybe a little pressure back of the left hand. Draw the right shoulder, right elbow, right hip back, and then reach the right arm up. So we're stacking shoulders. Hands can be on block, or maybe you come down to the floor. So whatever variation works for you. If you feel like you start collapsing in the right shoulder and right hip, you may be going down too far. So maybe bring yourself on up. One more deep, full breath. Gaze is at the right thumb. Real strong left quadricep. Inhale, come on up. Hands to hips. Step that right foot forward about halfway. Square the hips towards the front of your mat. Take your right arm, extend it out in front of you. Another good reason for a block. Extend it out in front of you. I use a block a lot because my hamstrings are super tight. Extend and lengthen. Right hand comes down. Now, if you can't get to the block or floor, bend the left knee. Get the hand down. All right, so wherever you're at. From here, wherever you are, draw your left shoulder, left elbow back. Lift the gaze up towards the ceiling and extend the left arm up towards the ceiling. All right, now if your left knee is bent, you try to straighten it. And you may not get there, it's okay. This is revolved triangle. I find it very challenging, especially if you have really tight hamstrings. So you're drawing the left shoulder back, you're lifting this left hip, and you're straightening that left knee the best you can. All right, now the challenge for the day. Keep in mind, try not to push, try not to coast. All right, we're going to take this right hand, we're going to scoot it up a little, like so it's in front of the right shoulder, and then we're going to just take that right foot up off the ground. And we're going to lift it on up. So now we're in revolved half moon. I find this very challenging. Big inhale, slow exhale. Now take that right foot, bring it next to your left foot. Drop your left hand down, forward fold. Oh yeah. Sway the hips. Inhale halfway up. Flatten and lengthen. Let's do the other side. Let's bend the knees, plant the hands, left foot steps back, stay on your left toes, and then reach your arms up. So crescent warrior, and once again, adjust your stance. Make sure you're comfortable. Right knee is bent, either stacks on the ankle or a little bit back. Left thigh is engaged, left heel is pushing, hip bones are square, arms are reaching up, and shoulders are down and away from the ears. Tuck the tailbone a little bit, so ribs and belly in. You'll feel the left hip flexor. Find the stability and strength of the legs. The legs are squeezing in towards one another and together, like everything towards midline. And then just extend your arms out in front of you. This is a little bit of heat within the shoulders. And then you're going to hinge a little bit at the waist, so the belly hovers over the thigh. It's like you're handing somebody a present, like, please take this holiday fruitcake. Nice. And then drop the arms down. Floor or blocks. Bring the weight to that right foot. Lift the left leg off the ground. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted that was a bad cue. Let's extend the arms out in front of you. If you're in my class, this is what happens. Extend the arms out in front. Virabhadrasana 3. Now we're hinging forward. And we're dropping the hands down. I don't edit, by the way. I don't edit any of my classes. So when you see mistakes, they're mistakes. It is what it is. All right. So standing splits, hands to floor, block, or maybe ankle or shin, whatever's working. I'm going to switch around so I can see you guys. All right, one more deep full breath. Now we're going to start to get a little bit lighter on the hands. And then we're going to do airplane wings. We're going to lift the torso on up. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. Maybe bring your opposite thumb on top. And then step that left foot back. Lift the torso up. Now we're going to swivel that back foot to ground down. And so we got warrior one legs. So that back foot's grounded, right knee's bent. Squeezing shoulder blades together, lifting the heart. And then we're going to scoot that left foot forward about 3-4 inches. We're going to straighten that right knee. Draw the right hip back, find the length of the right leg and length through spine, hinge forward. For more sensation, fronts of the shoulders and chest, arms come off the lower back. Big inhale, slow exhale. Nice, release your arms, give them a little dangle. Hands down. If you need to bend the knee, go right ahead. Bring that left foot up off the ground. So standing splits again. And then we're going to do half moon. So we're going to scoot that right hand a little bit forward. And then we're going to twist and open, left arm reaches up. And externally rotate left thigh. So left toes are swiveling out to the left. Stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips. If the balance is there, look up towards that left thumb. All right, a little lighter on the right hand. Bend the right knee, step your left foot all the way back. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Find the stance. Relax the shoulders. Take your left arm underneath the right arm. Stack the elbows. Or eagle arms, left hand grabs right wrist. You can do any kind of manipulation you like from here. Creating space between the shoulders. And then bring your awareness to your legs. Soften the toes. Right knee presses out towards pinky toe. Relax the jaw. All right, unwind the arms back to Virabhadrasana 2. Swivel the palms up and down, see if you can move the shoulders a little bit with them. And then reverse warrior. Right arm reaches up and over. The more you reach your right arm, the more you're going to sink low into the right knee. Keep in mind that left hand can dangle, find the hip, or maybe behind the back, so whatever's feeling right. Breathe space into your right ribs. And then take your left hand up, grab your right wrist, pull your side body long, straighten your right knee as if you're trying to pull your right foot up off the ground. And then inhale, lift the torso on up, hands to hips. Triangle pose, so that modification again is left hip draws back, so a little bit of tilt of the pelvis. And then a subtle rotation, left hip forward. Extend the torso and the arm forward. Drop the right arm down. Inside of the right thigh, maybe to a block, maybe to the floor. And then we're going to drop that left shoulder, left hip back, extend that left arm up. Right knee is straight as you can get it as you engage your right quadricep. If you can engage the quadricep, if it's like soft, bend the right knee just a smidge. Stacking the shoulders, and we're drawing the left hip back. We may not stack the hips, it's okay, but that's the direction we move. And then inhale, lift the torso on up. Hands to hips. Left foot steps forward, let's say about halfway. Square the hips to the front of your mat. Right hand to right hip. Left arm extends out in front of you. Hinge at the waist, go far forward. Drop the left arm down. And then once again, it could be to a block. It could be to the inside of that right leg. And it could be to the floor. If you can't get to the floor, like my right hamstring's so tight, I can just barely get. So I would have to bend my right knee a little bit so I can get that contact. So wherever you are, it's fine. Just draw your right shoulder, right hip back. Then you try to straighten that right knee. So if I didn't have a block right now, my right knee is not going to get straight. It's okay. And then we're going to extend the right arm up. That's why I find revolved triangle for myself, or all of us with tight hamstrings, really challenging. That's why I need a block. And keep in mind, these supports don't really mean like you're not doing well, quote unquote, well in yoga, right? It's like your flexibility has nothing to do with your kindness, right? Or your enlightenment, or anything other than you have a tight hamstring or hip or whatever it is. All right, now the hard part, or I find hard part. Left hand comes a little bit farther forward. Bring the weight to your right foot. Lift that left foot off the ground, revolved half moon, and the strong right leg, maybe roll the right wrist. The real challenge is if you have like a plant in your face. That's advanced yoga, if you can kind of deal with all this. All right, right hand down, left foot comes next to right foot. Inhale halfway up, flatten and lengthen. Let's move a little bit here. Bend the knees, plant your hands, walk your feet all the way back. Top of the push-up. And either move through chaturanga, which is halfway down through up dog. If that's not feeling good, go knees, floor, and cobra. And then eventually down dog, or if you need a child's pose, go right ahead. So find an asana that's comfortable. Restore asana. And a couple breaths. If it's table pose, cat-cow. If it's child's pose, soften. If it's in down dog, maybe bend the knees a little bit. And we're going to move into pigeon pose. So however you want to get there, we're going to start with the right leg. So if you're in down dog, lift the foot up. Bring the right shin forward so the right foot is in alignment with the left leg. And drop the left knee. Point the left toes and lengthen through torso. The closer your right shin is to the front of your mat, the more intense the sensation will be in the right hip. So make the modifications. And if you have blocks, this is a nice way to support your right knee. So if your right knee is bothering you, slide it underneath that right hip or right thigh, make the adjustments, and then lower. Right? So if you do have blocks, you have this option also. Lower the elbows down to the blocks. Or maybe you lower the forehead down to the block as you soften. So it's nice to have supports around your yoga practice area, and that's blocks, it's a blanket, it's a bolster or pillows. So you can make the modifications in a way that support the body. And in this pigeon pose, for the longest time, my back knee would always bother me. And a friend of mine once said, slide a towel underneath the knee, and I was like, is that legal? And I did it, and I was like, oh my God, this is so great. Right? So we make sure that when there's a sensation in the joints, the bones, these areas, that we have some tools to support the body. Right? There should be never any time where you're moving through your yoga practice and you feel pain. If so, it's an indication you're doing something too much for the body. One more deep, full breath. Hands under shoulders, gently lift yourself on up. Bend and straighten the left knee a few times. If it feels malleable, you can reach back with either your right hand as you twist to the right, grab the left foot, or you can twist to the left, grab it with the left hand. If neither one of those are working, you can drop to the right hip, and then you could try it. And if it still ain't working, you can just stay nice and tall. So find the one that's working for you. For more sensation, if you have the bind, heel towards tailbone. Lengthen through torso. One more deep, full breath. Ooh, yeah. Exhale, let it all go. Roll over your left toes, lift your left knee. Send your right leg back for three-legged dog. So just lift it on up, shake out the leg. Big circles, clockwise, counterclockwise. And when you're ready, we're just going to go into the other side. So settle back into your down dog. And then you're going to bring that left leg up to the sky. And then left shin forward. Left foot in alignment with right leg. Keep in mind, right side, left side, probably different. So my right knee is a little bit more sensitive than my left knee, so I have to be careful of that. If you need more, scoot your left foot forward, square the hip bones again. And then I'll show you here, again, this is where your block would be. It'd be like underneath the hip or the thigh so you can support the knee. And you can still support and still get sensation. You can scoot it forward. I definitely feel it here. You can also use like a blanket as well. Soften the torso forward, maybe the elbows, maybe to the blocks. Maybe the heart, forehead gets all the way down. And a couple deep, full breaths. This practice, it's a little bit of a shorter practice than like a normal class, which is either 60, 75, or 90 minutes. These shorter classes are just ways to find connection and awareness to the balance of the body. And I say balance of the body, I mean bodies, physically, energetic body, emotional body, spiritual body. So we just know where we are so we can move through the day with more mindfulness. So another breath or two, soften best you can. All right, hands under shoulders, gently lift yourself on up. Once again, bend and straighten the right knee. Either stay nice and tall and keep that leg down. Twisting to the left, which I find a little bit more intense, left hand reaches back for the right foot ankle or shin. If it's too much, twist to the right. Right hand reaches back. You may find this side more intense. Or drop your left hip down and reach back. Find the one that's just right. Once again, this is all about balance. I mean, I don't want to push. Like I can draw that heel towards my tailbone here, right? That's too much. Like I got it, I feel it. It's just a little too intense. So then I just kind of vacillate and be like, okay, that's the spot right there. And keep in mind that sweet spot, it's a moving target. So if I stay here for another 30 seconds, it may be, again, too much. So I'm always like breathing and checking in. This is the whole yoga process, right? All right, exhale, let it go. Drop to your left hip this time and sweep your right leg around. Extend your legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake. Point and flex the feet a few times, and a gentle forward fold. So either hands behind you, stay in the fingertips. This is nice if you're really tight in hamstrings. Or you can slide the hands to the backs of the knees as you hinge forward. Or if you're flexible, you can grab the feet, which, as you can see, I can't do. So find that spot. And keep in mind, like, everybody's always concerned about their yoga practice, about how flexible they are, quote unquote, how flexible they are. I've been practicing yoga since I've been 20, which is over 30 years. This is about it for me. Right? This is my second practice of the day, so my hamstrings are fairly open. That's it. And I can feel a little bit through my lower back as well as the hamstrings. It's just what it is. This is how my body's designed. I got no problem with it. All right, inhale, come on up. Hands behind you, bend your knees. Find your way to your back. So knees are bent, lower all the way to the back. Feet are about hips distance apart. And you're just going to windshield wipe your knees side to side. And so you just drop them right and left. Bring your awareness to the sensation of your lower back. How's it feel? If your lower back had a voice, what would it say? Mine would say, I'm tired. My lower back's always like overworked. All right, hands by the side body, palms up or down. Press through your feet very slowly. Lift tailbone, lift lower back. You just go up as high as you would like. Bridge pose. If you're all the way up and you want to do like a full expression, you can squeeze the shoulder blades together and maybe interlace the fingers behind the hips. And you can press triceps, forearms, and sides of the hands into the ground. Options would be coming onto the toes for more space and lengthen the spine, drawing the chin a little bit towards the chest. And as slowly as you came up, you're going to come back down. So you're going to release the hands, lower the heels, very slowly lower the hips. Once again, windshield wipe your knees side to side to soften lower back. So when you do bridge pose, I want you to be careful not to just draw the thighs towards the belly chest. You could have spasms in the muscles. So once you're soft, then you can draw those thighs towards the belly. And then let those knees gently drop to the left for your spinal twist. Arms open up wide like wings. Draw your right shoulder, or drop your chin to your right shoulder. Gaze over your right thumb. Big inhale, slow exhale. If you guys know me, if you've been practicing with me, you know that I'm fairly new at YouTube. And when I watch YouTube practices and I see these teachers teach these flawless classes, I'm like, how do they do that with no mistakes? And then I realize, oh, they edit and edit and edit. And I'm like, God, so the last thing I need is to like pretend that I'm this perfect yogi that doesn't make any mistakes. And for all you guys that know me, you're like, oh yeah, you make mistakes a lot. Gently bring the knees back up to center. Hug the knees towards belly, chest, a little bit of movement from side to side. This is my shtick, right? The imperfect yogi. Knees drop to the right, arms open up. Chin drops towards the left shoulder. Better, it could be like train wreck yogi. Soften. Keep in mind, us yoga teachers are no different. And it's probably a little bit more challenged than a lot of you guys out there. I had somebody say the other day, they're like, oh man, your practice must be awesome. I'm like, oh, it is awesome. It's just like all over the place too. I practice just like you do. I'm like student first and foremost. Second, sharing my experiences and letting you know it's okay. Like everything's okay as long as you just keep working, like doing the practice and find it. Gently bring your knees back up to center. Hug the thighs towards belly, chest. Lift the feet up to the sky, candlestick pose, hands, hamstrings, knees, calves, feet, or maybe arms down by your side body. Roll the ankles, wiggle the toes, and then pedal your feet like you're riding a bicycle in the sky. A big bicycle, like really big pedals. And then this is the hard part for me. Reverse it like you're reversing, like riding a bicycle backwards. And then slide into a happy baby. So both arms reaching between the legs, grab bottoms of the feet. You're bringing your ankles up over your knees or that direction. Separating your feet as wide as you can till you feel sensation. And then drawing the knees down towards the floor as you rock a little side to side. Big inhale, slow exhale. Do keep in mind, you guys, I mean, I am doing this for you guys, so if there's anything within this practice that you have questions about, or if you're like, you sound terrible, or, you know, I know some of the sound is bad, I just want, like, feedback is great for me. I want to make sure these practices are something that's accessible for you guys, and something that you would like, that it works for you. Awesome, nice work. Let it all go, Shavasana. Last resting pose, heels towards the corner of your mat. I'm going to give you a suggestion if you have two blocks for your Shavasana. If you don't have blocks, you can just kind of lay flat. But if you do have two, you can take one block, so it's like the perpendicular to your outside of the mat, and then one up higher. So this is going to be shoulder blades, this is going to be head. And then you're going to rest your shoulder blades down, and you're going to rest this other block on the head. So if you have blocks, you can stay here. And this is nice for shoulder opener, chest opener. Feels pretty good. If you don't have blocks, by all means, lay flat on the ground. And once you get there, externally rotate the thighs. Let your feet fall open. This is going to help soften the lower back. Swivel the palms up as you open up through the fronts of the shoulders. Draw the chin down just a smidge as you close your eyes and drop the gaze inward. Set up shop in the heart, right behind the sternum. This is the place where we can find peace, calm. And this is where we go when the external world is in chaos, which seems like it's always in chaos lately. And a moment too here just to pause everything in the outside world and find some rest and ease. Just a moment or two. If you have time and space to stay in your Shavasana longer, please do that. If your day is waiting for you, very slowly start to deepen your breath. Start to awaken the body by wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and ankles, and gently rocking your head side to side. If you're set up with these blocks, you're going to have to remove those blocks from the head and the shoulder blades, and then gently draw the knees towards the belly, chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself a little squeeze. Right arm reaches up over your head and roll to your right side. A moment, just bring your awareness to your body. Acknowledge your practice. To be here now. Find a little bit of gratitude for the opportunity that we have to move through the rest of our day mindful of our bodies and balancing ourselves out. Pressing your hands into the floor, bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. Hands come to heart center. Tuck your chin, take a nice big inhale through your nose, and exhale out your mouth. Namaste. Nice work, yogis. If you like this practice, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comments section below. And make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can be updated on all the latest and greatest classes. Cool. See you soon. Namaste.